So you're saying with Hilton Honors, I can use points for a free night stay anywhere?
Anywhere.
What about fancy places like the Canopy in Paris?
Yeah, Hilton Honors, baby.
Or relaxing sanctuaries like the Conrad in Tulum?
Hilton Honors, baby.
Ooh, what about the 5-star Waldorf Astoria in the Maldives?
Are you gonna do this for all 9,000 properties?
When you want points that can take you anywhere, anytime, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Whether you're packing for a vacation or dressing for a wedding, Nordstrom has head-to-toe looks for wherever summer takes you. From swimwear and bold color to romantic florals and dresses that make an entrance, find the right style for every unforgettable moment. Shop new arrivals from brands you love like Farm Rio, Free People, Vince, Waif, and Stod. Plus free shipping and returns and styling help whenever you need it make it all so easy. Shop now in stores at Nordstrom.com or download the Nordstrom app.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
Everybody that's already tuned in. Okay, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started.
It's for the Couch Chronicles, where there ain't no fucking limits. Every
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 8 Central Time. You don't never want to miss a couch. And now we're live every Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 a.m. Central Time. That's every day of the week. Yeah, tune in. You don't want to miss this shit. It's the Couch Chronicles, where they know what? I know you said it.
It's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits.
I look like and feel like I'm $1,000,000. I'm feeling myself for real. I'm on my way. The way I walk looks like a dance. And baby, that's just how I feel. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling good.
Couch Chronicles, early mornings on the couch, that is. Every Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Come catch a vibe with the couch. If you ain't gotta work, then you better keep your pajamas on. Get your tea, your coffee, whatever you drink, and whatever you smoke. Because Wednesdays and Fridays is the time to relax, chilling, vibing. You know, if you would like to be a live guest, if you in the Oklahoma City area, DM me now. Trust me when I say you don't want to miss this vibe. Are you feeling good? I'm feeling good. That's how you supposed to feel in the morning. 1, 2, 3, let's go!
I look like and feel like I'm $1,000,000. I'm feeling myself for real. I'm on my way. The way I walk looks like a dance. And baby, that's just how I feel. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling myself. I am.
I already know. Of course, it's early mornings on the couch. I was supposed to be on last night, but ooh-wee, baby, when I tell you guys, I be in so much pain. So much pain. For those that don't know, it is Prison Jail Felon Talk this whole week on the couch. We got tomorrow and Friday, if I make it. I kind of sound weird because my neck is on fire and my migraines have been getting worse. So
come to find out, I might need another neck surgery, so that's something I'm dealing with right now. So, but whatever. Let's get into the couch. Again, this whole week is Prison Jail Felon Talk, and the next time we're going to do it again is in July 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Coming up also June the 8th, Autoimmune Disease Awareness. June the 9th, Sickle Cell Talk. June 15th, Mental Health Talk. June 17th, Stop the Violence. June 30th, Fuck Fentanyl. If any of these subjects resonate with you, you're more than welcome to come sit on the couch. Before we do go on, I want to give a moment of silence for the ones who didn't get a chance to make it here today for whatever reason. Let's give this moment to them. Okay. Now, of course, I always have a small topic, in the topic. So, Prison Jail Felon Talk, and today we're going to talk about jobs on the yard. Sorry. And if you didn't know, jobs on a yard, you get literally 12 cents to 40 cents per hour. Now, this is mainly if you work in a job. If you're not working a job on a yard, you're not going to get that card that they give you at the end of your sentence. They give you this little card that's filled up with all the money that you've accumulated. But if you don't have a job, you don't get that. Now, I will say this. 90% of any inmate, whether it's male or female, literally are working. And if you're not working, then you're in education. And if you're not in either one, then it's a possibility that you can have a level drop. You'll never get a level. You might not even get visitation. It's like that. It's like that. Now, the jobs that they do have is like maintenance, the groundskeeper, trash detail, kitchen, laundry, barbershops, orderlies for the pod. Of course, the smaller the job, the smaller you'll get paid. And 12 cents per hour really isn't enough. And it's obviously not fair. But it's what you have to deal with as an inmate. So a lot of times when I hear people out here complaining about a waitress job, like, yeah, we only get 15 cents, we only get 45 cents, we only get this and that. I'm like, y'all get way more than anybody that was in the penitentiary. Maintenance to me I didn't get a chance to work it, but maintenance was a good job. You get to walk around whenever a count is still happening. Like, you get to be in the shop and actually work on things. To me, it's a lot of freedom. They also have, like, if you have if you're in D building and you don't have a lot of time, it's a possibility that you can have a perimeter job. So you'll be going out in the perimeter, just picking up trash, cigarette butts, whatever. Kitchen job to me was terrible. I hated it. I hated being around that fake ass meat. I hated having to take trays, and I just hated it. But whenever you're in prison, you have to have a job, and it's like, damn, if I don't got this job, then I'm getting in trouble. So then they ended up coming up with a job called Citadel. Citadel was a telemarketing company that you call, like, you, whoever's watching. We will be calling you, trying to offer you long distance on each of your landlines. The thing is even though it will make your bill go higher, they still had us selling long distance to elderly people, churches, and a lot of us didn't care like who we sold it to, because it was like, okay, this is my job. It's up to me. Like, I was one of them. I was like, this is my job. I'm supposed to. They like, oh, well, I'm not going to take this church because it is 18 lines because I know that it's going to make their bill go high. But they still teach you to lie. They teach you to keep on lying, yet they scold us if we get caught lying to them. But we have to lie to these customers in order to get them to get long distance. If half of these customers knew that we were calling from the penitentiary, do you think for 1 second they would even breathe their address to you? Or don't you think they would be making a ruckus about the fact that inmates have my address? Inmates have my number? And I'm saying it like this because I know how people are. We see how they are now that we're out. So imagine all that hate that they have now that we out. Imagine if they would have been on the other end of that phone and we would have been like, well, you know, I am in prison. Imagine that. It's crazy, huh? I remember when I first heard about Citadel, I was just so excited. I was just like, wow, you know, we get a job on a yard that you get paid way more than 40 cents. Hell yeah, sign me up. You know, the jobs on a yard is sometimes our way of escaping. Sometimes it's our way of living life. You know, feeling like we're in the world, feeling like we have responsibilities that we, as adults, we could take care of. You know, so getting up early in the morning, making sure that you're dressed properly and looking good, going to work, it was a plus. Plus you get paid. It was a win-win situation. But going to that job, knowing that every day, in order to be the best salesperson that you can be for this job, you have to be a liar. You have to make sure that you lie perfectly to these, and you have to, on purpose, skip over certain words so the customer doesn't get spooked from this extra line that's going to be costing them extra money. But the checks were so good, and it's like, but if those people that we sold these lines to only knew that the person that sold you your line was possibly in prison for murder or child endangerment or whatever, and now they know your personal information. Your personal information is never personal. If it's out there one time, it's out there forever for everyone to see. We would get calls that we did last week on a different number, and they'd be like, you guys called me last week. And we'd be like, oh, put this on a list. And then the list will be recycled. We used to complain all the time that we would get recycled leads. Well, the reason why we were getting recycled leads is because how many people in the world actually have a landline in the United States of America? And we was calling all over New Jersey. We seldomly called Oklahoma because, let's just be real, Oklahoma's small. Doesn't matter if you're working in the penitentiary or not. You think one time you might call a business in Oklahoma and somebody might not recognize your voice, and then voice complaint afterwards like, whoa, I know that voice from somewhere. They sold me that long distance that made my bill go extra high. It's fucked up. But you got to do it, you know, especially if you want to get out and have at least a little bit of a check. Anytime you discharge from any penitentiary, they give you a little card, and that card is loaded up with any monies that you've made. If you've been in there 20 years, ain't no telling how much money you came out with. If you've been in there 15 years, ain't no telling. But you have to work in order to get it. Otherwise, no level, you don't get nothing. They literally treat you like shit. You know, even whenever you do get a job, they gonna treat you like shit. But, you know, following the rules is having a job. It is. And no matter how much you get paid, a lot of times people do go to work because it's really the only thing that takes being in prison out of their mind. You know, staying busy. A lot of us do that now. We stay busy so we don't think about the things that's hurting us, or we stay busy so we don't think about the things that's affecting us. You know, and then we work through it until we can't take no more, obviously. But knowing that maybe a possibility that I might get a check at the end of this was the only reason why I made sure to have a job. And I also, like when you worked at Citadel, you got a check almost, I want to say if it wasn't every 2 weeks, I think it was every month, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was every month. Every month you got a check from this job that, to co-host, I don't know what that means. Sorry. But, yeah, anyways. You can receive a level drop, and when you receive a level drop, say you went from a 4 to a 3. If you still don't have a job by the time the next month comes, you're going from a 3 to a 2. And if you still don't have a job, you're going from a 2 to a 1. And it's, once you get on level 1, it's so hard to get off. Like, I don't give a fuck how good you are. They literally make you damn near kiss their fucking feet to get a level back. So once your level is dropped, it's easy for you to get discouraged because you like, God damn, it's going to take forever to get this level. And then level 1, you can't even have a job anyway. You know, it's saved for the people that actually want to work and want to do jobs, because if you did want to do a job in their eyes, then you would have put forth the effort instead of not working. Now, if you're not working and you legitimately are in education, then they will not require you to have a job on the yard. Now, I don't know per se if they pay you to go to school. I don't remember getting any cents or anything like that when I was going to school. But once you're in school, then that doesn't matter about the job. But it also takes away from the fact that you can leave with a little bit of money. And even though $500, $600, $700 don't mean much to us now, when you get out of prison, it's literally everything. That's your hygienes. That's your, first set of clothes that you need. Whatever you need. Because when you first get out, the first thing you want to do is take a shower with some good things and eat a good meal. It's just what you want. And working on the yard gets you in the habit of getting out in the world and going straight to a job, or it's giving you that hustler's mentality, but in a positive way, because some of us was locked up for selling drugs, so we got that hustler's mentality the street way. But let's have another hustler's mentality, but that's the way to work. Now, this ain't something that they teaching you on a yard. You have to want this for yourself. You have to want this for yourself. You have to want a job. You have to want that discipline instead of taking the discipline that they're giving you as a negative thing. Let's go ahead and turn it into a positive thing. Okay, yeah, I got to be up at this time. Yeah, I need to get up at this time for work. My kids. Stay disciplined. Stay in that working habit. That way, even if you get fired or turned down from a job whenever you get out, you won't be discouraged, because you're going to keep on going and keep on moving. Having a job on a yard, if you can maintain a job on a yard and not get fired, then you can maintain a job in the world and not get fired. Because the things that they put you through whenever you're in the penitentiary, even when you have a job, they're going to put you through the bullshit. They're going to put you through the ringer. It will prepare you to work in the world. No matter how you look at it, it will prepare you. Because how many times are we having to deal with a shakedown in the kitchen at work because an officer is feeling like somebody's doing something sneaky? You don't have to deal with that out here, but it will prepare you if you're about to get robbed while you're working in the kitchen at Chili's. For real. 12 to 40 cents isn't a lot. But also, it's something to get you started. So if you in prison and you ain't working, you better find something to do. And just hustling ain't it. Getting it on paper, making it look good. If, say you've been in prison for 6 months, and that whole 6 months, excuse me, sorry, I thought I was going to throw up. That whole 6 months you was working in the kitchen, right? Okay. Now, when you go up for your year review 6 more months after that, and you're still working in the kitchen, the person that runs the kitchen can go speak on your behalf and say, hey, I work with inmate 435662, or whatever they call you, inmate Jones, inmate Charlie. In the whole year that he or she has been working for me, I've seen teamwork, I've seen, leadership, accountability. I've seen all of these things with this inmate. And I think it'll be a good idea for them to make parole or to get out or to get this year review. Wherever you work, or even if you're in education and you go to school, you shouldn't have a staff member leaving a bad report about you. For real, unless they just genuinely just don't like you. And sometimes that can happen. But sometimes the people that you work for on a yard can be your advocate to help get you out of prison. Say you've been working in the office next to Anna Joby. Yes, then Anna Joby, which is a really good person to leave a good review for you. He's the unit managers, head of the unit managers, and now he's coming up for the year review, and they asking him, okay, so how was inmate Jones? Well, inmate Jones was very good for a long time. I have never got any problems out of inmate Jones. This is the things that he will be saying for you. Now, you made your year review. Now you out. Now you have that working skills under your belt and you ready to work. You already in that mode. Now, look, you've held down a job for a year, and guess what? Say you've never had a working history. Now you have a working history with the kitchen. You don't have to put that it was at Mabel Bassett. You could say I worked at the kitchen, and it could have been a business called The Kitchen. And then you can actually use the staff member that was over you, because some of them, they will keep in touch and they will want to do this for you. They will want to do this for you. They'll call that kitchen lady like, hey, I got somebody that's trying to work here. They said that they used to work under you for about a year. Can you tell me how they work ethic is? And then they will go into details about how your work ethic is. They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, well, we in the penitentiary, but no, they not. Because they know that you're trying to get a job and they're trying to help you. But again, that's if you are doing the work and if you are building those bridges with those staff members, not to the point where, oh yeah, it looked like you snitching. I'm talking about to the point where if you work in maintenance and you about to discharge, it's no reason why your maintenance superior can't, even before you leave, you can have, if you don't want them to call and verify, take a paper of recommendation from them in a direct line that the people can call. Take it before you leave. And then that way, whenever you go to a job and you build your resume and you have this right here, you can get copies of the letter that Sergeant such and such wrote for you. And then you can show that every time you give your resume out. And then it'll have a callback number on the bottom of it like, hey, if you really want to work, if you really want a job, it starts in prison when you're there. Because the people that don't want a job, you can always tell. Because when they get out, they still not doing shit. So it starts once you start growing up in the penitentiary, because you have to grow up. You can't be no child in the penitentiary. Even if you are a child in the penitentiary, you can't act like one. You have to be an adult and man up or woman up. And that means getting up every morning and going to a job. Sorry, it just does. They didn't care about unless because there were some people that weren't allowed to work because of their medical history. It wouldn't allow them to work. So if you have a legitimate excuse or a doctor's note or a nurse's note or, saying that you can't work, then they won't punish you. But again, you still won't just be getting paid because you're an inmate. It doesn't work like that unless it does work like that. Now, if it does work like that now, by all means. But back then, when I was in prison, just being an inmate, you don't get the 12 cents to 40 cents unless you have a job. There's plenty of jobs on the yard, gardening, people work for the church up there. There's people work for education. You know, if you was a teacher out here and you ended up going to prison, why don't you find out about being a teacher in there? Why don't you find out about being a tutor? You know, go into the skills that you already know. Like if you went to prison and you was a forklift driver, they might need you in there doing something. Even if they don't have the job description, they may make a job description just for you. You just never know. You just never know. But closed mouths don't get fed. And if you genuinely want to work while you on the yard, you got to find something to do. Find something that's going to pay, though. Don't just be like, yeah, I want to work on the pod, and they don't give orderlies, you know what I'm saying, money. Work a job on the yard that you can actually get some payment for, because it's going to help you in the long run. By the time you discharge, you're going to have a little something to help you get jump started. Because it's not too many people, when you get out of prison, are going to make sure that you have money in your pocket, food in your stomach, clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and a job. No. It's not too many people that's out here waiting to make sure that you straight. Period. I don't give a fuck if you took a case for them. It's not too many people out here like that. Do you want for yourself? Do you want yourself to be successful? Then that's who you need to depend on. Not everybody else. Because everybody else will disappoint you every fucking time. You have to want it for yourself. Jobs on the yard ain't bad. It's only bad if you don't like money. It might not be much, but it's something. And it also keeps your mind occupied, because we tend to mind fuck ourselves a lot more when we have a lot of free time. And who wants to do that? Nobody. No fucking body. Yeah. All the jobs, like I said, that they have are pretty much simple. I think the hardest job on a yard, it may be maintenance, but it can't be if you know exactly what you're doing. So honestly, no job on a yard. Matter of fact, I take that back. The only hard job on a yard is making sure that you stay out of trouble. Because sometimes it's inevitable. You can get in trouble if it's your roommate doing something, and you can get in trouble if you still haven't controlled your anger or learned how to control your anger. You can be the one getting in trouble. I'm just saying. If you're just now tuning in, it's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits. I do this every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday from 8 Central Time, and every Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Follow Couch Chronicles No Limits on Spotify, Apple, Pandora, THA Couch on Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Big O, Fanbase, Favorite It, Lemonade, everywhere. Also, you can subscribe, because sometimes I go on early and sometimes I go on a little late. I'm in a lot of pain, so that's why I'm just trying. But if you guys are interested and you want to come to the prison reunion this year, it's going to be August the 29th at the same place it was last year, Stars and Stripes Park. If you've done any time, you don't have to have done any time with me. If you've done any time, period, you're more than welcome to come to the prison reunion. Hey, love. Sending positive vibes, love, and energy. You're more than welcome to come to the prison reunion. It's definitely going to be a vibe. Last year was amazing. Shout out to everybody that showed up. And shout out to everybody that's going to be showing up, because I know it's going to be another vibe. Now, before we wrap this up, if I don't come on tomorrow, I will see you guys Friday morning. But make sure, if you know anybody that's locked up, make sure to hit them up. Because being on the yard, even though having a job takes your mind off the things that's going on in the world that you can't control, there's still things going on in the world that you can't control that we still go through on the yard, because we have to keep it in. So, just if you know anybody that's locked up, reach out to them, send them some love, let them know that you're thinking of them, because they probably need to hear from you right now. They probably do. I love you guys. It's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 8. If not, then I will see you guys Friday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. I love you guys. Have a good day. Oh, and before we go, make sure that you subscribe to all of the channels. You don't want to miss the couch. And if you already haven't subscribed or to the YouTube, no, not the YouTube, the Facebook, that's the only way that you will get the articles that I write. You know, the Couch Chronicles have their own little newspaper. And if you want to be involved and you want to get your own newspaper, then you have to subscribe to the Facebook, THA Couch. You don't want to miss it. The next story is about a basketball player, a football player, a baddie, and a corrupt law firm. Oh, you don't want to miss it. It's the Couch Chronicles. Oh, and you won't believe what basketball player this is and what football player this is. Or baddie. It's the Couch Chronicles where it ain't no fucking limits. I love you guys.